Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming!
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Grenada charting the course for a more effective response post-natural disasters. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, March 27th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada is charting the course to correct errors of the past in damage assessment and needs analysis following natural disasters. Representatives of the private and public sectors were engaged on Wednesday in a planning workshop geared towards putting strategies in place for effective response. The government of Grenada is collaborating with the United States government through USAID to provide support and funding. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Stephen Fram stressed the importance of analysis.
Analysis of how best to respond immediately following a natural disaster. So in this group, there are people from the utilities sector, from the tourism sector, from government, from telecommunications sector. So all of these different sectors that are so important to responding after a disaster are here today to talk and plan and prepare and think through what it is that they need to accomplish, what they need to have in place, what structures they need after a disaster happens.
Minister with responsibility for disaster management, Dr. the Honorable Senator Winston Garwe, says Grenada must learn from its own experiences and most recently those of its neighbors. He said more emphasis must be placed on resilience and speedy recovery.
This means that the government and all stakeholders should be particularly concerned as to how quickly we bounce back after any impact and to be able to serve our constituents with the required services needed. The onus, therefore, is on us, government and stakeholders, to build resilience in our country, our businesses, and our people. This requires significant investment in strengthening our infrastructure, developing new policy frameworks, and developing the capacity of our people.
The Disaster Analysis and Assessment Workshop aims to correct the errors of the past. That's according to Acting Coordinator of NADMA, Sylvan McIntyre. He said too many mistakes were made in 2004 and 2005 when Hurricanes Emily and Ivan struck the island.
All sectors, according to the national plan, who has a responsibility for the Dana process to have come together, set out, do the assessment, compile the information together, identify the extent of the damage, areas damaged, what were damaged in categories, put a rough cost to that damage. Statistics, Ministry of Finance, according to our national plan, is supposed to be provided with that information for all of the sectors involved, and therefore would give a preliminary estimate as to cost of damage within a 48-hour period that should have been done. And thereafter, a thorough assessment had to have been conducted and create a macro estimate as to what has happened in Grenada.
Multi-destination tourism and collaborative marketing initiatives for niche tourism. These two elements, according to OECS Director General Dr. Didicus Jules, are key to tackling the subject of slow tourism growth in the OECS. With only 2% growth per annum, the OECS is said to be falling behind Latin America and the Caribbean. Addressing the virtual media launch and public consultation of the OECS draft strategy on Tuesday, Dr. Didicus Jules said OECS member states need to find creative ways to package and offer attractions that will lure tourists to their destinations.
Across the OECS, there are a number of unique products being developed by innovative young people having to do with adventure tourism, such as hiking. In St. Lucia, for example, at the Gros Piton, you have a hiking trail that has been cut, and the community at the base of the Gros Piton has now taken a sort of have a sense of ownership of the management of that site. So they're now looking at more value-added stuff like creation of souvenirs, doing social media, photographs, and so on around the visits and the hike to the pitons. So using the natural resource in the community, together with things like creation of local juices and health drinks and so on for persons climbing. So in expanding community participation in tourism is vital. And this is one of the areas that we want to put a lot of emphasis on, because the opportunities for community involvement in tourism are many. It spans a range of opportunities from entertainment, culture, food, events. So these are areas that we want to develop.
On the subject of transportation, the OECS Director General says they are acutely aware that resolving this issue is key to growing competitiveness in the region. The Caribbean Development Bank has published a study on the challenges of transportation in the region, which pointed out that while air travel into the region has significantly increased, there has been a significant fallback in intra-regional travel. A main reason for this, the cost of intra-regional travel, reliability and scheduling.
We've been, in the past few months, been working closely with the World Bank, the UN, ECLAC, UNDP, and a number of other entities, CDB, as a working group looking at the question of sea transportation, of ferry, expansion of ferry services across the OECS to make inter-island travel, not just of people but goods, more facilitate that much in a much more cost-effective manner.
The OECS Development Strategy outlines key strategies that will be pursued by the member states of the Eastern Caribbean Economic Union over the 10-year period ending 2028. The strategies are developed around three mutually reinforcing pillars: generating economic growth, promoting human and social well-being, and sustainable use of natural endowments. It seeks to target growth of between 3 and 5% and reduce unemployment in OECS member countries by about 25% over the life of the strategy. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this. One incredible day of exciting track and field action. It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
Welcome back. Grenada has reiterated its support within Carriacou for dialogue on the ongoing political and economic crisis in Venezuela. A delegation of foreign ministers from Carriacou met recently with Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido, via video conference as part of continued efforts by Carriacou to facilitate a peaceful resolution to the crisis. Following the meeting, Carriacou issued a statement saying, and I quote, "Carriacou foreign ministers acknowledged the meeting as a significant initial step in a series of potential engagements that should unfold by agreed mechanisms within the framework of the Constitution of Venezuela and the rule of law." The meeting provided a greater understanding of Mr. Guaido's views and perspectives on how to move forward in search for peaceful solutions, as well as his willingness to take part in meaningful discussions, unquote. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Foreign Minister Honorable Peter David says Carriacou has an interest in the outcome in Venezuela.
That the future stability of Venezuela is in the interest of Carriacou, and that while we understand that there are difficulties within Venezuela, Carriacou's position remains that these matters should be resolved by the Venezuelan people coming together. And we offer our good offices through the Montevideo mechanism to broker a dialogue. And we hope that the meeting in Barbados on Saturday between the foreign ministers with the chair of Carriacou present, the foreign minister of the chair of Carriacou present, can go some way to assisting in brokering that deal.
Finally, the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts says it is committed to the further development of local athletes in all disciplines. The commitment came during the presentation of sporting equipment donated by former ambassador to China, Mr. Dennis Antwine, to the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts. Sports Minister Senator Nolan Cox used the opportunity to talk about some of the plans in store to ensure sportsmen and women are provided with the opportunities they need to be able to compete at all levels.
We are working to ensure that our facilities continue to improve. We have currently here, we are in our athletic stadium. We are working towards establishing an aquatic center for our swimmers. We are working towards establishing an indoor facility for basketball, netball, and other indoor sporting events.
Ms. Akeda Vento spoke on behalf of Mr. Dennis Antwine. She relayed his desire to continue to support the country's sportsmen and women.
Last January, members of the GLLA, the Grenada Leadership and Learning Academy, made contact with the Embassy of Grenada in China, informing us about communication with one of Grenada's listed honorary consuls in Asia. GLLA is a non-profit organization based in Grenada. Today, I am pleased to acknowledge the generous and timely in-kind donation made by the honorary consul that would benefit the Ministry of Sports, its facilities, and sporting activities in Grenada.
That story just ended the national report for today, Wednesday, March 27th. Recapping the top story. Grenada charting the course for a more effective response post-natural disasters. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Preliminary qualifiers. After 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this. One incredible day of exciting track and field action. action. It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Carriacou James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Sheldon Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Carriacou James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
No matter what the consequence might be, whether day or night, once it's all for the good of my country, I'm ready to fight. Some may find it strange, but I never change. My philosophy endures, always country first. So I will climb over the highest wall when my country call. Hail, hail, Grenada, I give myself to thee. Yes, man, that's why I'm playing. I always playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. Yes, man, I always playing. I keep on playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. And that's a fact. Eh, bada bada dan di dan do. Play for Grenada. Baba da da do. Baba da da do. Some may say that the grass is much greener on the other side. So anytime they get an opportunity, they come for the ride. They don't care if it's lightning or thunder, whether hot or cold. They wake up every day and they hoping for the pot of gold. And while they play their part, showcasing their skills, ignoring the dangers of the mines on the playing field. But when it comes down to the local game, they won't do the same. Hail, hail, Grenada, I give myself to thee. Yes, man, that's why I'm playing. I always playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. Yes, man, I always playing. I keep on playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. And that's a fact. Eh, bana bana dan di dan do. Playing for Grenada. Oh, mama, hoy. Oh, mama, hoy. When you see me with me son, me hammer, in the burning sun, I'm only come out to play my part in the reconstruction. I listen to the words of my granny, and she always said, from the doctor to the sanitary worker, they have a part to play. So the sweat you see running down on me, it's no accident, but my investment in this little paradise, all the Isle of Spice. Hail, hail, Grenada, I give myself to thee. Yes, man, that's why I'm playing. I always playing. Ooh, God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. Yes, man, I always playing. I'll keep on playing. I'm always playing for Team Grenada, and that's a fact.
Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott. I haven't seen Devon yet. Not sure if he's on the way. Try to reach him. I'm not getting him yet, yeah?
Oh, mama.
Definitely playing for Team Grenada. Yeah, that's for sure. We ain't sticking on that one. We definitely are.
Some may find it strange, but I never.
We're live on 97.5 City Sound FM. Yes, we are live online on CRFM. I know there have been some power issues in the 1910 area. So the persons that usually flip between 89.5 CRFM and 97.5, you may be experiencing some problems today. You may not be getting the program as you usually get it.
Always playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada. Yes, man, I always playing. I keep on playing. Good God, I'm playing for Team Grenada, and that's a fact.
Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful Thursday morning on the Isle of Spice. Saying a very special good morning to all of you on the live this morning. Cynthia, Kendon, Caitlin, Hannah, Louisa, Dali, all of you on the live this morning. Hope that you all are having a fabulous morning this morning. Remember to like and share, as I'm about to do. Like and then share the live. Yeah, like and share the live. Just trying to make sure everything is okay with the other frequencies.
Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up.
Oh yeah. Life is no bed of roses, so don't expect it to be according to the circumstance.
Yeah, Kaiso.
Success never comes easy.
The innocent one.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
All are reminded. Please take note in case you didn't know before. The launch of Spice Mass 2019. It's going to be taking place on Saturday, the 4th of May. It's been shifted from the previous weekend.
The victory go be real sweet.
There are two activities taking place the previous weekend. It was thought prudent that the activity be shifted to the following week. So the launch of Grenada's Carnival at the Grenada National Stadium. That's going to be taking place on Saturday, the 4th of May.
But every time you drop,
it's going to be a launch with a difference.
I tell you, never give up, never give up.
I know many of the artists are already in studio preparing themselves for the carnival season. Many of them are going into the groovy. You have a lot of guys coming into the soca there, especially with what was done by our artists a few weeks ago in Trinidad. We call them the Fabulous Five. So the launch of Grenada's Carnival, Saturday the 4th of May, 2019.
Grenada, a young man we almost emulate, a decent young man of strong character.
That said, just remember the weekend of the 26th, 27th.
Of us Olympic champion.
Yeah, that's the Carriacou Maroon Festival.
From humble.
Book your room, book your flight, or book your boat ride right now, eh?
Come obstacles with hard work and sacrifice.
If you had to get on SVGA, you had to book kind of early. Take the 20 minutes up in the air, and then you're in Carriacou.
Always in our heart.
That's if you could take it in the small plane. Some people can't get crazy in that small plane. Smaller than a bus, you know.
Remain focused.
Yeah, the inside of that smaller than a bus.
Fight and persevere.
So if you know you can't take it, yeah, head for the boat. Nice, yeah. So you could book your ride with the Osprey or with the Dolly Sea. So you could go ahead and book your ride and head on up there for the Carriacou Maroon Festival. Yeah, that's coming up on the weekend of the 26th, 27th of April. Also around that time, you have the St. Mark's Day Festival. That will also be taking place. So the launch of Carnival shifted to the following week, the 4th of May.
Very first time you compete.
Should have an ad somewhere here for the Carriacou Maroon Festival.
Helps make winning more sweet. You must think first class, you want to be the best. Always position yourself to win the contest. Practice make it perfect, train hard and get it right. Overnight successes do not come overnight. Always keep your goals in sight. Every time you feel you want to stop, hold the pressure, man, don't you drop. Remember, he who laughed last, he laughed.
Yes, Hannah, it doesn't only look like I'm going up. I definitely will be there, God's willing, for the Carriacou Maroon Festival. I've never been to it, and it's time that I do go.
Just keep up.
I'm going home for the Carriacou Maroon Festival, yeah.
Get it right, so never give up.
Let me say a very special good morning to all the listeners out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. To those of you at CitysoundFM, Mr. Fraser, good morning to you, sir. DJ Jack, Linton, Lisa, good morning to all of you out there, the entire Sister Isle radio family on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We say a very special, glorious Grenadian good morning to each and every one of you.
Every time you feel you want to stop, hold the pressure, man, don't you.
Yeah, the St. George Northwest constituency.
Remember, he who laughed.
They're having their pre-Easter fundraising gala.
Gold and no gold till it.
That'll be taking place on Saturday, the 6th of April at Pier 57 in Grand Mall.
Just keep up.
Limited tickets available.
We'll get it right,
so you can call the St. George Northwest Constituency office on 440-1382 or 457-8227. So again, that's the St. George Northwest Constituency branch. They're having a pre-Easter fundraising gala and dinner.
Journey starts with one stride.
That'll be taking place at the brand new Pier 57 in Grand Mall. And it's taking place on Saturday, April the 6th.
Every step is closer to your dream.
So that's next week, a Saturday.
So many tried but failed.
So avail yourself of the opportunity. Head on out there. You don't have to be from St. George Northwest constituency to support something in the Prime Minister's constituency. So I expect to see some of you from town, from St. John, St. Patrick. Yeah, I know I'll go make up a little bus and thing. No, Honorable Yolan Bain Hosford, good morning. Mr. Steve Hosford, good morning to you as well. Yeah, I know you all going to organize and come down. St. Andrews Southeast, I know that you all have an activity. You all remind me to promote the activity, but the problem is I can't find the actual ad. Yeah.
Never give up.
That's the problem that I'm having. I can't find the actual thing. Yeah, nice.
This song is not about who you are or what color you wear. It's about saving this beautiful country. Now give me. Stand each one help each other. As one country, one nation. Everyone, give a helping hand. I can't do it for myself.
No, I'm looking for the actual thing here. I believe that it was sent to me. So I'm just trying to get it. Oh boy, I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it. Yeah. So St. Andrews Southeast, you all give me a buzz. Yeah, somebody WhatsApp me. Let me know about the activity that's taking place there. St. David, yeah, the place to be this Friday. Definitely, I know I'll be around at the office grounds of the St. David constituency office. All are invited to their monthly constituency fundraiser. Music by a popular DJ. You know, the bar is going to be solid. And they're starting from 1 p.m. until, so I could finish our talk at 12. Put what I put in place, organize myself, and head on up for 1 o'clock. Right, so I can reach on time. Right, they're gonna have on sale barbecue, fish cake, sauce, coconut bakes, and the world famous Felix Lambie waters. I'm sure will be there on sale as well. So that's taking place this Friday, as in tomorrow, at the St. David's constituency office in Lassa Jess. Right, nice, yeah.
I want to reach out to the youth and tell them the truth.
47 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock on the Spice Isle. Yeah, you can call in 440-7377. That's one of the numbers you can call and get onto the inside. And for those of you outside of Grenada, 347-329-3101. Good morning to you, Nisha. Blossom, good morning to you as well. Yeah. You're back in London. Lovely. Sonia, good morning.
No, we can't wait for tomorrow. Like we still don't know how to pay back when we borrow. See this stuff about who's wrong won't change the situation. The only solution to build this nation. We have to reach out to.
Yeah, Sonia got me excited till I take apart my keyboard, you know. Morning to you again, Sonia. Folks, remember to like and share the live. Irvin, good morning to you. I hope that you're having a fabulous morning this morning. Yeah, yesterday I had been talking about what you're seeing there with the the president of the Public Workers Union. Morning, comrade sister. Good morning. See the comrade sister saying that she taking the government to court. So I saw Kaji on TV. And Kaji said that they're taking the government of Grenada to court for shifting her. The thing is that not the government of Grenada, maybe the Public Service Commission, he's saying, man. Yeah, I feel it's the Public Service Commission he's saying. I may be saying it wrong. Because you obviously cannot take the government of Grenada to court for what the Public Service Commission is doing. The Public Service Commission is the body. If you see the Constitution of Grenada, you'd see that is the body that's responsible for confirming, placing workers in different locations within the public service of Grenada. Yeah? Yeah. And you see the comrade sister also admitted, at the end of January, she admitted that she could be moved at any time. You know, she said, in fact, she was on GBN. And she liked to go on GBN. Yeah, but she said this.
I have been transferred to the Corporate Affairs Intellectual Property Office as of today, Wednesday, the 31st of December. And whether or not my job description, my letter of appointment, in the public service would say that I'm liable to be transferred at any time within the public service. It still appears that because of my position, because of the fact that I hold an office in the trade union movement, that it appears to be some form of victimization.
Yeah, it appears to be. She ain't saying it isn't. Yeah, she's saying it appears to be. But she admits that her letter from the Public Service Commission says, so you're admitting that you're hired, and that you were hired, and what the letter that hires you says is that you can be moved from any position to another position. Yeah, she admits it. And not on one occasion there, twice within the same interview. Here again. Yeah.
The PW head says the public service rule prevents her from taking any action.
Job description says, letter of appointment says, that you are liable to transfer at any time. It is always very challenging.
But what I want to find out is that you said that you can't legally challenge it. But how come you're legally challenging it now? So who got to you? Who were the ones that came to you and then tell you, hey, they make confusion? Well, you know what happened? You know what happened? Because see, certain people, and let's just expose that, certain people want to be able to stand up on the platform on May Day. Yeah, May Day is just a little over a month away. They want to be able to stand up on the platform on May Day and say that they are martyrs for the cause of workers. What martyr you is? You no martyr for the cause of workers? What you lose? Because you are the one that said that you, in fact, let me put what she said. What she said. We ain't gonna think we go put it. Let she say what she say, and we ain't gonna say it. Let she say it. We ain't gonna say it. Let she say it.
As you know, I have been on assignment for many years within the Ministry of Education, sitting on a desk doing nothing. I have been placed in the Ministry of Environment, doing nothing without any portfolio. And now I have been placed within the CAIPO department, where you could say I am there without not a portfolio. So, Eugenia, I gave up a lot in order to serve the workers of this country.
That ain't sound like you gave up much, because if you if you was working one place doing nothing and then you were transferred to the next place probably to find something to do, and you go there and you do nothing, and then you transfer to the next place and you find you have nothing to do there again. So what did you give up? The ability to do something? Yeah, that's what you're saying? Because you are the one that is admitting that, look, you went from here.
Roberts is challenging.
No, the same person that was saying earlier.
Remember,
let's go here, because, and all of these are GBN reports, eh? Yeah, so let's just take it from here. Just remember, this is the same person here. This person.
The PW head says the public service rule prevents her from taking any action.
Job description says, letter of appointment says, that you are liable to transfer at any time. It is always very challenging and difficult to be able to pinpoint the issue of interference when an officer is moved, victimization when an officer is moved. But we recognize it as professional hurt.
Some people are moved and they say it's victimization because the uncle, wife, child that they had with somebody else is a supporter of the NDC. And therefore, they consider that to be victimization when they are moved. We're on an island of 100,000 people, you know. Not 2 million, not 3 million, not even 500,000. We're on an island of 100,000 people. So people always make things look like victimization. You have a master's degree in business. You're sent to the CAIPO, the business registration unit. So you're saying there's nothing they can use your services there for?
Is challenging a recent interministerial transfer which left her without a position. On Wednesday, January 30th, Rachel Roberts was transferred from her position as Senior Administrative Officer in the Ministry of Education to the Corporate Affairs and Intellectual Properties Rights Office Cadgington Hood, who is representing Roberts, spoke on the claim put forward to the court.
The essential claim before the court is one for constitutional relief. We're saying that the Public Service Commission has acted contrary to the Constitution of Grenada. We have mentioned the discrimination, the fact that she's been treated that way, obviously because of what is perceived to be her political opinion. We are saying to the court, effectively, she has been removed from the public service. Similar, effectively removed with effect 28th of January 2019. We are asking the court to say that she has been removed from her office for reorganization purposes.
Roberts' attorney says while the transfer may not be the entire problem, he's of the view that she now holds a considerably lesser position than before. He added that to date, no job description has been given to his client.
I've been given no list of duties.
My question there is, how could you come to the conclusion that she holds a lesser position when you don't know what position she holds? We have a caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine.
Yes, I was listening to that thing with Rachel. I think Rachel owing the government should take Rachel to court because she was getting paid for doing nothing.
And you know what's the most dangerous thing there, my dear? If you're the SAO in a ministry, there is no way on God's green earth that you are supposed to be there and have nothing to do. Because the SAO, okay, you have the minister. After the minister, you have the permanent secretary. And after the permanent secretary, you have the SAO. That's the person right after the permanent secretary. That person, in most instances, after a while, the SAO can become a permanent secretary. Yeah, that's how important the person is. Now, the SAO, for instance, staff, they have to go on vacation and so on. They may talk to the permanent secretary, but the person that actually keeps a track of these things are the SAOs in the ministry. They keep a track of people who are out on sick leave, people who are out on study leave, those sort of things, those administrative sort of things. They assist with cabinet submissions. For instance, a school needs to have furniture replaced and a submission, a request comes from that school. The request goes to the minister. The minister says prepare a submission to go to cabinet. The SAO and the permanent secretary can prepare that submission for it to be taken to cabinet to get the furniture for that school. Other than that, cabinet wouldn't know.
If I was she, I would have fired her work. I would have leave her work because I would have feel so embarrassed before to get paid and then doing nothing.
Well, my dear,
that's what if I was in her position, I would have leave her work and work with the union. Where she want to work with the government and doing nothing, and so bold you want to bring up the government too?
Well, here's what. A request was made by her to do just that, you know.
Well, is a lawyer. I think she's dealing with a lawyer, and the lawyer gets it paid to do his work. So
no, I have no problem with Kaji.
You have money, pay the lawyer to get zero results.
I have absolutely no problem with Kaji. I disagree with what he's attempting and what he's saying.
But the money?
But you ain't paid.
Shipping. Okay.
All right, my dear.
Bye-bye.
And if the lawyer is getting paid, any lawyer is getting paid. I mean, because remember, she's being paid and she ain't doing nothing. So, I mean, at least let some of the money circulate in the local economy. 4407377. And it's now we say, don't get wrong. Is not we say, is she say. Right? It's not we, it's she.
As you know, I have been on assignment for many years within the Ministry of Education, sitting on a desk doing nothing. I have been placed in the Ministry of Environment, doing nothing without any portfolio. And now I have been placed within the CAIPO department, where you could say I am there without not a portfolio. So, Eugenia, I gave up a lot in order to serve the workers of this country.
Still trying to find out what she really gave up to serve the workers of the country, because I know that the same Rachel Roberts applied to government so that she could get a deal similar to Mr. Lydon Lewis. Yeah. She wanted a deal where she would still receive her government salary as it is right now, not a reduced salary. Yeah, the same salary, whatever it is, whether it's $4,000 or $5,000, whatever she receives now. She applied to government, made the request, yeah, so that instead of reporting to work, once you're the leader of the Public Workers Union, you would report instead to the union office and spend the entire day dealing with union issues. Government said they are willing, as they have that arrangement, a similar arrangement with the teachers union, they were willing to allow her to go and work, once you're the, whoever it is the president of the Public Workers Union, instead of going to a ministry or going to a department or so on, that you would go to the Public Workers Union building at your office there, and that is where you would be based on a daily basis doing the work of the workers of the country. Government said, yeah, no problem with that, but you have to be paid by the union, not by the people of Grenada. Is that fair or is that not fair? That's what was said. Government said, yeah, that when you go to do the workers' work, let the workers pay you. Because remember, the Public Workers Union is collecting from its membership $0.8 million in dues every single year. Yeah, $0.8 million. That's what the Public Workers Union is collecting in dues from its membership every year. So they should be able to afford to pay for their union rep and maintain their office. Because other than that, they've got to get explanation to the workers where the money going. Because we know they tell the workers and them don't go out and all kind of thing, and next thing you know, problems. Yeah? Problems. When workers can't get the money now. Because look, the teachers union, the GUT, Grenada Union of Teachers, their membership collectively also pay close to $0.8 million a year in dues. That's the membership when they receive their salary. According to Chris Rock, it's like a hijack. Because you receive it and it's gone. It's not like you get your money and then you say, okay, I'll go pay the union this month. I'm not going to pay them this month. I'll go hold back. I'll make a lump sum payment this time. No. Every month your salary, whap. The union dues are taken out and sent to the union. So the unions have been receiving their dues. The Grenada Union of Teachers have been using that, and they have been paying, well, LL being paid by the union, isn't he? So when teachers and them had the problem, but they ain't get pay and thing, don't feel LL ain't get pay, you know, you get pay. He had his salary, he had the money for his Christmas and things to have a nice time. But others didn't get their money. I think we have a call online. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning.
Good morning, Senator.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I am quite fine, my good friend.
Good. Let me say hi. Say good morning to Miss Tommy, too.
Yes, oh God, she would love to hear your voice this morning.
Yeah, good. You know, Senator, there's something I'm trying to understand with Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I listened to her clips with GBN and then before, and you replayed again this morning. But earlier this week, last week into this week, I see she bring a claim against the government for moving her from one position to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, for her, she say in the letter she received from the Public Service Commission stated that at any, that's what she said, at any time you could be replaced and moved to another department.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I'm not a lawyer, but I think I have a little common sense. If you have a letter stating such, what is the problem now if the government remove you from one position to another? I'm trying to understand that.
My brother, she's claiming victimization. But look, over the years, I've known people that passed through as much as 6 and 7. For instance, Vida Victor Bruno. She was a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Youth. And then she was youth and sport. Then she was into the Ministry of Works. She spent some time in the Ministry of Education. She spent some time, I think, even in the Ministry of Health. You move people from time to time. They gain experience, especially at the level of SAO. When you're shifted, it gives you more experience in various areas, so that when you are uplifted to become a permanent secretary, that you have experience across ministries that can help you to assist the minister in policy formulation and also in relation to how ministries connect with each other. How Ministry of Works connects with Ministry of Education so that the school is fixed in a reasonable time. How Ministry of Health is connected with Ministry of Agriculture for some of the healthy eating programs and in the provision of food stuff for the different facilities and so, and encouragement of growing certain fruits and so. So there's a connection.
Then what's the problem with her? You know, what baffles me is this. You want to work permanently for the trade union, and let the people, the government pay you a full salary?
Yeah, that was the proposal.
We ever had it happen?
But that was the proposal. I mean, the Grenada Union of Teachers, in their case, their president, and that is how he was not affected by the salary deductions that he caused others to go through. He is being paid by the union.
Right.
So he's basically...
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, he's being paid by the union. So for the period of time that he's president, he does not go to a classroom. He doesn't have to go to a school or anything. He goes to the union office and he's paid by the union on a monthly basis. His salary is paid by the union.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, they're collecting around $0.8 million a year. And in the same, both unions, the Public Workers Union and the Teachers Union, both of them are around $0.8 million on a yearly basis each.
Right. You know, I've been listening the whole thing for the longest. I didn't call to comment on it. I mean anything. But my point is this. I know when they had the strike system that was going on, the disturbances, the union didn't pay the teachers for going out, which they're supposed to. What I wanted to know, the union do have conventions, right?
Yeah, they do have like the AGM where they get together and so on. They do have the different functions.
And they have delegation, and they have a delegates, right? They have delegates to vote who they want in the various offices, right?
I should believe so, yeah.
My point is this now. Do the union give these members a financial report of the status of the union?
Some members have said that they do receive a financial report. They say that they're getting a financial report and so on, and that is the union business. There is nobody. In fact, one of the former presidents of the union, Mr. Handel, when I asked the question online, I was told to mind my business. That had nothing to do with us.
Mind your business?
Yeah. It had nothing to do with us.
The union, they got to understand, the union is a public entity. And if you're going to run a union and you cannot disclose your financial status, there's a problem.
They say I'm a non-union, I'm a non-GUT member. So I'll leave the question to the members of the GUT to ask.
Well, that's true to the members of the GUT supposed to ask the question. When they get together, ask the question about the financial report and what happened with what money goes where, what money spent where, your receipt, your disbursement, and all this stuff then. Because as far as I see, these membership are getting blindfolded and they don't even know what. They don't have a clue what is going on with them. They have no clue and they're taking it political. When they should take a lot of things gracefully. Because, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine concerning that. And I said, my brother, you have to be so grateful that the government giving you a pension which you did not have and which you're not entitled to. You should take that and run with it. You want to make an issue over gratuity? Are you kidding me? A gratuity means nothing to you. The pension is what means something to you, not the gratuity. it is mind-boggling.
Well, you see, my friend, some people have not sat down and seriously looked at the issue. I could tell you something for sure. You know, some of the teachers that were whining and jamming, joking and get gyrating in the middle of the streets with placard, cussing government, did not understand what a gratuity payment is.
They don't. I realize they don't.
Some of them actually believed that the money that they were protesting and hitting the streets on were money that they would get for Christmas. That's what they thought.
What?
I'm telling you, as God is real, there are some teachers who were protesting that did not even understand the issue they were protesting over. And some of them too embarrassed to admit it now. But they actually thought was money for the Christmas. Imagine one or two of them meet Dr. Mitchell and say, Doc, well, release the thing now, man. Oh, gosh, settle now. We want our money for the Christmas so I could go and spend. And these are people that actually do not qualify for a pension/gratuity until the year 2030 something.
And they don't sure will not be there.
It's not Dr. Mitchell go be there
because by that
it's not Doc go be around.
Drastically.
It's not Doc go be around, but it go have to pay.
Right, but so they're taking the gratuity now is a bonus for them.
Yeah, they thought it was a bonus payment. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even many individuals out there in the general public, sir, believed that what is being withheld is that is some sort of money, like a $1,000 or $2,000 payment to every teacher that had to be paid by the end of the year for the Christmas for them to go and enjoy some time with the family.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, that is what was being negotiated. That's not the issue. You're talking about a gratuity payment, which is a lien on the public purse for the rest of, in perpetuity, for the rest of history.
The government can't afford to do something like that.
Well,
what do you think today? Especially here in the States, what do you think today they're having a problem with Social Security? It's because they feel now that there's more retirees than the working class. And they're going to run into a problem. That's why the government have to secure themselves when it comes to something paying a pension. They got to make sure what they're paying could sustain the country so you don't go bankrupt. I wonder if they realize that's what the problem is.
Because remember, like up to this morning, I was speaking to some individuals on the NIS here in Grenada. And they were saying, well, the NIS. I said, no, it's not a situation where the NIS is going bankrupt. Say, if things continue to operate in the way that they're operating, and with some of the things that you see on the horizon, the NIS could go bankrupt. But it is not that the NIS is going bankrupt. Because what you're saying is like, for instance, an individual, if you check your pay slip in Grenada now, and you see how much you're paying in NIS, when you have to receive your money, when you're retiring and you have to receive your money, the amount you're paying on a monthly basis is not what you're receiving. You're receiving sometimes as much as 20, 30 times that, according to what your best 5 years are. You could be paying, let's say you're paying $50-something in NIS, right? Let's say you're paying 50-something. And by the time you are ready to retire and you have to collect money every month, you could be collecting, let's say, $3,000 from the NIS as pension on a monthly basis. And I'm just using figures here to give the explanation that each month you are giving 50. But when the time comes to NIS to give you, they are giving you 3,000. So NIS has to take your 50 and they have to invest it somewhere, be it in treasury bills with the government of Grenada or St. Lucia or Dominica or St. Kitts or wherever, or in different mechanisms around the world, in the stock market or wherever. They have to take your $50 and invest it to make enough money so that when the time comes to pay you, they could pay you. Because if it just remains that you're paying $50 and when your time comes, you gain 3,000, and everybody doing that, NIS going to go bankrupt.
Of course, they have no money.
Yeah,
no money.
That's what banks do as well. They take your money and they invest it. That's what happened to Cap Bank. Cap Bank took the investors' money, and Cap Bank invested the money in different locations and that sort of thing. They invested it Because I often hear people talking about, oh, Cap Bank couldn't clear a check. No credit union in Grenada could clear a check. They're at the same level as Cap Bank. That's what a lot of people don't realize. None of the credit unions in Grenada can issue you a checkbook or could clear a check. They have to work along with a third party to clear the check. So the credit unions
That's
here,
how banks operate.
yeah, the credit unions here, they have arrangements with the different banks. So when they get checks, to clear the checks, they send the checks over to the banks and clear them. By hearing that, oh, Cap Bank couldn't even clear a check. Find a credit union in Grenada that could clear a check.
They don't clear check just like that. Even down to the banks here, most of them operate under the insurance system.
Yeah.
To protect themselves when it comes to claiming money and things, stuff like that. Most of the banks don't have the kind of money that you're talking about.
But even what happened with Cap Bank, it can happen to any bank. It can happen to any financial institution. Some people are trying to make it look a lot worse than it really was. Now, if everybody in one of the banks here in Grenada, somebody here that, okay, the bank failing, and the story starts to circulate that Bank A or Bank B is failing, and everybody with money there run to take the money out, you know what will happen? The bank will collapse.
Of course it will collapse.
Because if there's a run on the bank, everybody going
very quick.
Yeah, if everybody go in and say we want we want money. Because the bank takes your money, you go and you deposit $4,000 in the bank. So you have $4,000 there. The bank doesn't leave your $4,000 there. When Mr. Jones come and Mr. Jones want a loan, they lend Mr. Jones your $4,000. They put interest on it. So he has to pay back that money for that money to be there. That money is not in the bank. It's gone.
It's gone. That's what bank does.
Yeah. They take your money and they put it out.
Your money.
Yeah. And when the money comes back, it comes back with interest.
Interest. Exactly.
And it's the interest that basically runs the bank. And when the time comes for you to come and get your money, you're getting your money, and you still have to put interest on your money, so they have to find money to put on your money.
Of course.
So
that's how the financial system operates.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't understand that. They just hear things and they run all over the place. And Cap Bank this, and this, that. And they need to research. They need to listen.
They understand what you are fighting for.
Yeah.
You have to understand what it is all about. Put the politics aside and understand what you are fighting for, and don't let this politician bamboozle you.
And the thing is that I think the people who are trying to bamboozle people aren't very wise, because you see, they're trying to create situations and so on. And this is 2019 with social media. So when you say something, when you put out something, understand that it is always there. It is always there.
That's true.
And people could pull it back 10 years from now and say, you did lie. And you didn't know better about your lie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, my brother, but is everything else okay?
All right. It's a good thing. I'm talking to you, so we're going to chat again.
All right. I hope the wife, tell the wife hello for me.
Yeah, I'll tell her good. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Tell them say hi. Good.
All right.
I'm not him.
All right.
Okay, then. Have a good one.
All right. And we have a caller online. Good morning.
Good morning. This is HARDTALK?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm calling from Happy Hill in the Fence. I have a very grievous concern concerning the tomb that is being built in the cemetery. We have a small cemetery in Top Fence in Happy Hill.
Yeah, I know the cemetery, yeah.
Huh?
I know the cemetery very well.
Hello?
No, I said I know the cemetery very well.
Right, okay. And, everybody, they come out all about Grenada, Brizan, Dabo, all about Grand Mall, everywhere. And it's tomb they're building.
Ooh, so it's blocking up the place.
The minister was talking about no tomb building in cemetery, a government cemetery. That's taking up a lot of space. But right now, is a lot of tomb building. Right now in Top Fence, you have 3 tombs building.
Whoa.
They have to put a notice, no building of tomb. Because when the tomb is built, the other people have to bury. No space. You're right. You're very right. Yes, so something have to be done. That is ridiculous. And most of the people that build in tomb, they're not even from Happy Hill. They're not even from the Fence.
Wow. Who is that cemetery under though? Is it under government or the church? It's a government cemetery. Okay.
Government cemetery.
Okay.
You know, so I want something to be done. So they have to work on that very fast.
Okay, my dear. And that you're raising a very valid concern. So thank you so very much.
That is a very valid concern. On the tomb. When somebody dead, where they going to bury because they can't dig up the tomb?
And you see the
so
other
let
thing.
Everybody go down so there will be always space.
And you see the elaborate tombs that some people are building to. It's not that they're building a small thing or the concrete area.
They're building some high thing, big.
They're building house. They're building house in something.
Houses they're building in the cemetery, you know.
What I will do is find out what can be done in that situation. I know that the folks at the office there, I know they usually listen to Hard Talk, so they would be hearing what's being said here, and they can follow up on it as well.
Yes,
but I will also
immediately.
I will also bring up your issue at another level, because I believe this falls under I can't remember if it's health and the environment or lands or where it falls under. I'll find out. So I'll follow up on that for you. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, my dear, and feel free to call anytime.
Have a nice day.
All right, thank you. All right, and as it we in the fence, let me say a good morning to my good friend down in the fence there. I know my number one listener, she say. Jacob and then go deal with you. Says she's the number one listener. But yeah, folks, we were speaking about banking and that kind of thing. There are some things that a lot of people don't realize. Now, we have several credit unions in the country. When you bring a check to the credit union cannot clear the check. The credit union has to send the check to be it Cooperative Bank, or it could be Republic Bank, it could be Scotia Bank, it could be First Caribbean, one of the commercial banks. That was the same situation that existed with Cap Bank. So it wasn't an illegal or an unusual situation. Yeah? Because they couldn't clear checks. But none of the credit unions can anyway. And what happened to Cap Bank is that when that individual asked for their money, and they say, watch, I'm ready for my money, I need my money. And they said, well, we cannot give you that amount immediately. Because what Cap Bank did at that point in time is that, remember, you deposit your money, and they take your money and they loan out to people. So a man want to buy a bus, he come to Cap Bank, they say, yeah, we have that money, man, we lend you. Somebody else come, they say they want to buy a house and land. They say, yeah, okay, you're working for that amount. You could make that payment. Okay, we think you could make the payment and so you look stable. Right, look the loan. But it's your money and my money and other people's money that they're taking and loan. It's the same thing that's going on in all of the banks right now. So if everybody decide one time, we go into the bank. Somebody decide one of the banks in Grenada, they ask for something and they didn't get it and they decide to spread a thing and everybody decide, we want money and there's a run on the bank, as they call it in the industry. I just saw Kimran mention it like that. There's a run in the bank. That bank will collapse because there's no way that they have that money cash in any bank to pay off everybody that has deposits in the bank. There's no way. They don't have it. None. Not a single bank. So the bank will collapse. Yeah, somehow they didn't know that. Okay, we know today. All right? Yeah, we know today. St. Andrew Southeast are still waiting on her to send the information for us. It's the same. The NIS, how the NIS operates. You think what you're paying on a monthly basis to the NIS right now, you check your pay slip. You think how much you are paying to the NIS right now could sustain you on a monthly basis when you take 60? You think it can? It can't. The NIS has to give you more than you are giving on a monthly basis. And even if you take into consideration the period of time, the amount of contributions you need to make to qualify, you still will be receiving much more on a monthly basis than what you are putting into the NIS on a monthly basis. So therefore the NIS has to invest. They can't see your money there and leave your money there. When we put your money in NIS, leave it there. That's an idiotic statement to make. It's a person who has no understanding of the economic implications in relation to NIS just leaving your money there. Because what would happen is that people coming, more and more people getting old, and not just in a Grenada context, but in a world context, They're finding cures to different diseases and ailments. In fact, there's been some breakthrough, I believe, in relation to sickle cell, if I remember recently. Yeah? I ain't say they find a cure. I say there's a breakthrough in relation to sickle cell. They may find cures to certain types of cancer and to HIV and all these things in the future. It means, therefore, that more and more people will live for longer and longer and longer. Yeah? With improvements in health care, with the introduction of national health insurance, so that you don't have to go around with a motorcade to collect money to try and give somebody health care, but that person can immediately, under the national health insurance, that person would be insured. That person can, if they have to travel to receive health care, they can do that. Or if they have to receive specialist services here in Grenada, they can do that without having any prolonged wait. So you save the person's life. So with the imposition of the national health insurance and improving techniques, improving services in healthcare, people are going to live longer. And it means that as they live longer, there's going to be more and more and more of a strain on the national insurance scheme. So the $30 or the $40 that you're putting, or the $90, or even if it's a $15 that you're putting into the NIS each month, and then you have to get a couple hundred to a couple thousand each month when you retire, how you think they take your $15 and make it into a couple thousand? They must invest it. So the government of Grenada sends out treasury bills all over the world buying it, telling the NIS don't take government of Grenada treasury bills. No, they're going to take it. Same goes with other organizations. The government of St. Vincent, they float treasury bills. NIS in Grenada might say, okay, we won't take a 2-3 million in that. Might be a government further up the road, might be Dominica, might be some other country. They take it, they buy property. And if they buy property, the property should go up in value, unlike some of the property that they bought the last time that didn't belong to the people that sell it. But you have those things. That is, a lot of these things that people just don't understand. I think we need to start clarifying some of it. We have a caller online. Good morning.
Yes, Sheldon, good morning to you and good morning to Grenada.
Hey, bro, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just a couple of things. First of all, I want to say I really can't understand certain people. I mean, the minister, I think, was yesterday or when would have made some statements about some students we had studying. And I'm listening to Shaggy this morning, and then this one guy, to me, he didn't have anything better to say. But I think Shaggy dealt with the case, dealt with him appropriately.
You want to know something, brother? You want to know something? Remember during the election campaign, I played some audio of an individual speaking about disrupting the election process?
Yes.
That individual that called Shaggy this morning, he was in that meeting and part of that meeting. I have the audio of him in that meeting. I told you all, there's a lot of things I have that I just doesn't play. But when I ready play him, because he does be on Dum Dum program every morning. He does be there every morning, and that individual attended that meeting in St. Andrew Southeast. So don't get up. Don't think that he's calling there because he has a genuine concern. He's calling there because he's part of a larger plot. He's part of the cult of hate. And he's part of a larger plot. So don't think it's something and Shaggy just cut off somebody. This individual, I have him on tape at that meeting where individuals were planning on ways and means of disrupting. Slow it the hell down. He was at that meeting. Yeah, go right ahead, though.
I remember you played that tape.
Yeah, but go right ahead.
But on a different note now, I know me and you would not see eye to eye when it relates to what I'm about to say.
Yeah, because I'm taller than you too,
I don't worry, it's a ladder. But I really think that the government should leave Liat to run to the ground. Now, I listened a statement made by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. I was listening to the news. And Grenada did, as I understand, give some monies towards the Liat fiasco, but did not give the full amount that that they asked for. I know I'm hearing that Liat will have to cut flights, I think maybe from Trinidad and whatever, certain place and stuff. To me, honestly, that does not bother me, because Liat has always been, from inception, running on a negative. Every financial year, they never make a profit. No, and this is one of the things that I noticed. I have pictures that I took over and over, and I normally would, maybe I have some on Facebook or what, but this is what happened. Liat would say, okay, the flight is booked, okay, booked out. And I would go on the flight, because as you know, I travel regular. And I would see like 15, 20 available seats going from one port to the next. The morning when you check the flight, because I do that deliberately, it is saying booked. Liat would not book somebody on a flight last minute, like an hour before or 2 hours before they close up the flight. This is the kind of attitude that they have. That is why Liat is keep running to the ground. And as Doc said before, which I supported him and I still support him, that government should get their hands away from Liat. Let Liat run as a business. And we can get other airlines to come in. Now, let me tell you, I know you made an argument last time when we were talking.
No, I'm listening to you.
But I'll respond. This in all honesty. I'll just say that and then you can rebuttal.
Yeah, that's what I said. Go ahead, yeah.
If Liat was supposed to go out of business today, before the end of the week, you would see another company pops up. So it is not a strange thing that you have thousands of flights in the air. And I think we should turn our backs on Liat. So let me hear you now.
One, Liat broke even in the year 2013. The only thing that stopped them from making a profit was the fire that they had and some of the work that was ongoing in relation to upgrading the fleet back at that point in time. Secondly, it is simplistic to state that you should just allow Liat to go to the ground. If you allow Liat to go to the ground, you're spiting Liat for their behavior, but what does it do to your economy? It crashes an aspect of your economy. Yeah? Because if Liat, for instance, had stopped flying right now, I can guarantee you that many hotel rooms which are now occupied in Grenada, that are therefore providing employment for young people from all over Grenada, not only young people, people in general, that is providing an opportunity for farmers and fishermen and taxi drivers and so on. Many of these individuals would not be making the money that they're making right now to pay the electricity to be able to listen to Hard Talk. They would not. Because some hotels would have put people on rotation due to the decreased number. Now, you have flights that come directly into Grenada, but you also have flights that connect through Barbados, Trinidad, St. Lucia, and Antigua, and so on. Well, mainly St. Lucia for Grenada, not as much as Antigua, but St. Lucia, Barbados, and Trinidad. Now, without that air bridge, you are reducing the ability of an individual to come to Grenada. And what you are also doing is you're putting them into an aspect where somebody could decide, well, right now my fare is 125 US. But since there are so little flights available, we're going to bump it up to 250 US. You're going to damage yourself. You're cutting off your nose to spite your face. There is no reasonable reason to allow Liat to run to the ground at this point in time, especially because I saw some people try to twist that story. Dr. Mitchell in the past has said, and he has advocated, that Liat needs to restructure, they need to improve, they need to be on time, their service, different aspects of their service need to be improved. Right? He said that in the past before he spends a single cent on Liat. Now what has happened? Liat has improved. They have improved on a lot of the services that they offer. They're not always on time, but their arrival on time and leaving on time rate has improved. And one thing that no one in the Caribbean could fault Liat on is a safety record. Boss, I don't care if they reach 3 hours late. Once they reach, me I want to sit down waiting on some relative coming in on a Liat flight and the flight never arrive. Brother man, Thank God for small mercies. Thank God for what we have. It may not be the best, but by God, it's a lot better than what a lot of people have in their countries. I end up on a flight in Jamaica last time. For the flight to reach from one part of Jamaica to the other, I'm sure we end up in Cuban airspace, you know. And that was a small inter-island travel or one of them. I sure we end up in Cuban airspace.
All right, but listen, the last point, I agree with you, is that Liat has, for all its years, a very good, perfect safety record. However, this is something that I think you're missing, and I think the governments are missing. In a difficulty, anytime you have a difficulty, is where you see most of the vibrant businesses pops up, always shoots up. There is room for improvement. The problem is...
No, everybody admits that. Hold on, everybody admits that. No one is saying Liat is perfect, but they're saying from where they were to where they are right now, it is much, much, much improved. It is way improved. Where they are right now, it is much better than where they were before. They are not perfect. They are not where everyone would like to see them, but they are improved. So therefore, do you allow them, after they have made some changes and they do some improvements, do you just say, well, okay, let them fail now? After they do what you say and they start to improve and they're on an upward trajectory, do you just say, well, let them crash now, let them just fail? Right now, crash might be the best word to use when you're talking about Liat, but let them fail right now, and then let them fail right now, and then we just invite somebody else? No, to me, it doesn't, it's reasonable.
At the general consensus between us from the Caribbean region, I think it's only a handful of people that might say or see the improvements, because I cannot see it. I think most people in the region do not see the improvement. However, I think, you know what our number one problem is? Change. We are afraid of change. In other words, this is how it is and this is how it should be. Just like how persons from the other party is afraid of good change, positive change. You can either change for the best or you can change for the worst. I don't see any problem if we have another airline running the region. Competition is good.
No, I agree with you. I don't like monopolies. I agree with you. I think we should have 3 airlines like Liat in the region.
Before we couldn't buy a phone from Grentel, because when the cell phone just come in, it was so expensive. Now we have competition with Digicel, and the price just dropped way down.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean,
that's why I don't like monopolies. I never have liked monopolies. I won't like monopolies.
That is why we need another airline.
Except in politics. I will take a monopoly in politics. I'm taking all the seats in the house.
But I think I'm going to run, because I know that people have to call and time. But I think, honestly, okay, if you want to leave Liat line, let them stay and try for themselves. But I think the government of the region should really have another airline running. And when you have another airline running, I think it would be good. Yeah. I know traveling with Caribbean staff are way cheaper than what Liat have.
No, I did as well. And what I'd say, my brother, is this, just as you're leaving, I don't think the approach is to allow Liat to go out of business. I think let's see if we could fix Liat even more than it's fixed already. Well, Liat has to fix themselves, but we can't fix them. But if you have a strong, vibrant, properly operating Liat, and they have some competition going up against them, the only people to benefit are us, the travelers. We're the people that are going to benefit at the end of the day.
I'm not saying Liat cannot change for the good. I would tell the only how that could happen is if the governments get their hands out of Liat. The couple governments that have their hands on Liat, if their hands are removed from Liat, then you would see a great improvement in Liat. The hands of the particular government is the problem. That is Liat's number one problem. That's one of the fundamental problems of Liat. Okay. And I think everybody in the region would agree with me on that statement. Get your hands out of Liat.
All right, my brother.
That's why when Doc made the statement, people was not happy. But I'm going to listen on air.
All right, no problem, brother. But I want to shift off of the Liat for a little while. And yes, I did see that thing where some of them saying, take the money and give to the teachers instead of giving to Liat. Listen, they're talking absolute nonsense, because the amount of money that you're speaking here, when you're speaking about the gratuity issue for public workers, you're speaking the various public service unions that are represented by the workers and so on. You're speaking into the billions of dollars. Billions, not million. Billions of dollars that you're speaking about, because you're speaking about into perpetuity. You're speaking about having to do something starting this year and continuing every year that the state of Grenada exists. Whereas the payment to Liat is a one-off, and they didn't even give the amount that Liat asked for, the less. Yeah? But it's necessary, because you may spend $1 million on Liat and save your country $10 million. What would I do? Take canoe and them like them Carib and go and paddle between here and Tobago, and then paddle between Tobago and Trinidad? That's what we'd do when we have to travel between the two. We'd take one of the ferries and them that, well, they don't even have ferry system in the normal sense, but we'd go on the Alexia and thing and head down Trinidad and head back up and that kind of thing. Not me. I'm telling you straight, no, not I. So we have to look at the things from, take the emotion out of it and look at the economics. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sheldon.
Hey, morning. How are you? I'm fine. How are you?
About a week or so I had to call you back, but I didn't get through.
I know it goes.
wasn't there at the time sometimes.
Yes, I know it goes.
What I call, you listening, you hearing?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. What I call it to tell you, I went to the sports in Grenville. The Eastern Games, secondary school games.
Yes, yes.
Right. He ended up successful. Some of the school didn't send the children, and a lot of things about convent in Grenville. They turned out well. SAS didn't turn out well. St. David's Star Bear.
Yeah.
And while I was there, a couple of the teachers came from St. David's, and they were saying that you have a parent that never sent the child doing so well, and he never sent the child almost cry. And he said, you don't send any child in that is a NNP games.
Yeah, they allow their minds to be manipulated by others.
I personally know the person, and the person is the president of the PTA in St. David's. I have a son going to St. David's Secondary School, and he could run very well. And if the principal and the teachers and them do something about the president by voting him out, if he could do that to a child, by voting him out, I'll be taking out my child in the school day, and I won't be attending to no meeting that St. David's Secondary School have. He's the president, and they need to get rid of him.
All right.
And I will bring it up, and if they don't get rid of him, I'll be transferring the child to another school.
Okay, my dear.
Yes.
Okay.
That was very upsetting. The little boy cried, and he's doing well.
Okay.
You know, so how people could deprive their children of such a great opportunity? You know,
okay.
And he's the president. I know he's the president of the PTA. They had to get rid of him.
Okay, my dear.
Okay then.
What I would say here is that one thing, whoever is the president of the PTA there, we at Hard Talk, we don't know. Because, you know, I like to make sure that I hear for myself or I know for myself. The caller has said that this is what was said to them. As to if what was said to them is the truth, Hard Talk don't know. If it's the truth, well, that is a sick individual. If it is not the truth, then we humbly apologize. Yeah? But if that is the truth, I mean, why would you do that? I mean, I'm seeing here, and again, as I said, we are no. The caller said what was said to them. So she said what was said to her. And she says what was said to her is about an individual that she knows. But as to if it's the truth that was said to her, we don't know. Yeah? Next thing, somebody trying to set her up and trying to set us up. So we distance ourselves. Nice? Cool. Nice. Yeah. I'm seeing a circular going around right now from Lydon Lewis. And it's going out to all of the principals and them telling them to not mark your children, poor people children, your children, SBAs and CPEA papers. He's telling the principals and teachers in the schools not to do their job. You know who is that going to affect? You think that's going to affect Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell? You think that's going to affect Honorable Emlyn Pear? It's not going to affect them. It's going to affect your children and their future. That's what it's going to affect. It's going to affect your children being able to enter into a proper secondary school or into a university, that sort of thing. Yeah? Dr. Right Honorable Keith Mitchell already has his doctorate. Not marking the CPEA papers or the SBA papers is not going to affect him. It's not going to take away his doctorate. It's not going to take away the fact that he went to American University, Howard University, and University of the West Indies. It's not going to take away his degrees in chemistry and mathematics. When you don't do that, you're not affecting him. You're affecting the children. And why can't LL see that? That is where you must call and talk about, or you want me to call you and talk about. Not when you go and tear down the Skeeter poster. No, I ain't have time for that. This is what we need to be discussing. Why are you trying? I mean, your children are already taken care of. Yours good. You're for yourself in university, so you good. This doesn't affect you. You're not writing CXC this year, so this does not affect you. You have any children writing CPEA this year? Lydon Lewis, you have any children writing CPEA this year? This is affecting you, so you don't care. You think that this is going to have a negative effect on the government? We know you're looking for a platform so you can stand up on May Day and pound your chest again and say you ain't sell out and you ain't this and you ain't that. But you are doing things and encouraging things that are affecting the education of our nation's youth. So you send out letter. All of a sudden, like, I don't know who is the minister, because it looked like you is the minister. Because you are issuing directives to schools. I thought you were the union leader. And that you would deal with union issues with your membership. But now you've gotten to the point of doing things that can affect children's future. And you know, let me warn Grenadians. The nonsense that LL is proposing there, that stupidness that he's proposing there, you will not see the effects of that this year, you know. You might see one or two. You will not see the effects of it as much next year. You see, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, that's when you will see the effects of it. When one of these children has to apply to a university in the States, and when they apply, their grade point average for this period causes them to have a generally lower grade point average because of what took place this academic year. And they can't get into the university. So their dream of getting that bachelor's degree and that master's degree and that doctorate, their dream is destroyed because of the idiotic behavior and malicious attacks by Lydon Lewis. Lydon Lewis. Let me put the Lydon part of it in front. Yeah? That is what is being done here. It's not affecting the government as such. Unless you're trying to say that what you're doing has a political intent. If that's what you're saying, that's one thing. If you're openly saying that what you're doing has a political intent, that's one thing. But why are you doing that to the children? And I hope, because I honestly believe that 95% of the people who are teachers and principals have good intent when it comes to their students. I believe so. I believe 95% of them. I ain't saying 100% at all. Not with all see some behaving. Especially in St. Joseph's Convent, St. George and SAS. If you feel afraid to call school, I call in school name. Because the people in charge of those schools had to check themselves. Yeah? Bishop, check your school. It's all good to talk about nice and peace and reconciliation and unity and all this kind of thing. But when you have people encouraging young people not to participate in positive activities, you have to check on your people. You have to check on them. Some people might say, who is he to tell you? Tell him I'm a parent. So I'm saying it. We wish to reiterate that all hard copies of SBA should be sent directly to the Ministry of Education unmarked. So your child has taken their time to put together their student-based assessment for whatever subject area it is. They've taken their time. They've taken resources that you as a parent have paid for. Yeah? It's a requirement towards the end grade for CXC and one or two other areas. And LL is telling the teachers, don't mark it. That's what he's telling them, don't mark the SBA. So the subjects that you, the parents, paid for, don't worry with LL, he children okay already. Don't worry about he good. But the subjects that you had to scrounge and find the money and pay for, if your child fail because the SBA marks didn't come in, or because the teachers that decide they work to rule, who you going to blame? Who tell the teachers them don't mark SBA and don't mark CPA? Who told them? It wasn't the government of Grenada. It was the union. Tell them don't do it. Because their bread butter already, and it ain't butter with normal butter, you know. I don't feel it's glow spread. The peanut butter they have on it. And they toast their bread too. Their bread well buttered. They already in university. How your child getting into university with low grades? How is your child getting into university? These individuals don't care about the children. Who would do such a thing like this? They don't care about the children. And you have to get to a point where we understand who is in charge of the schools and who is in charge of the teachers, who is the employer. Because the way that he's operating as the employer. Because he's the one who wants to direct what teachers do in the classroom and during the hours of work and the time of work. Mr. Lydon Lewis wants to direct and dictate to the teachers what they do while they're being paid by you, the general public, while they're being paid by taxpayers like me, while they're being paid by taxpayers like you. He wants to come back and tell them what to do. But when the only time he ain't playing boss for them is after he told them, because he was playing boss then too, he told them stay off the job. And then when they were not paid for the period that they stay off the job, as is union convention around the world where you are paid by your union, when they are not paid by the union, the same individual come back and start to curse the government. Raw emotion. Nothing to do with patriotism and looking after the interests of the teachers. Because some of the teachers, and teachers, check yourself. Because some of you have children doing CPEA. And some of you have children doing CXC. So what you want to do? Phone the next school and tell them correct your child alone? If as a teacher and you call and tell me that I'm telling you how you're born. Serious. Teachers, yes, you are Grenadians, you are human beings too. You have children that are writing these exams too. You have paid for the materials for some of these SBAs that they have to do. You have helped prepare them. Will you allow your own actions now to negate all of that? Or what you want to do? All you go have a little grouping and all you will just tell all your friends and them, yeah, only we. Yeah, now some of them following him blindly. That's the 5%. I'll call them the 5%ers. Because I believe 5% of them don't belong in teaching. Serious. Kind of things they're telling children in the classroom. 5% of them don't belong in teaching. Vex. Should leave the profession. Go and find something else and do. Parents, let me tell you all something. There's a book called the Education Act. Go to the ministerial complex. Go to the government printery and get a copy of it. Because there's some people trying to spite some people's children. And there's a section there on discipline. Nobody can just up and dismiss your child from the school and all this kind of thing. There's a proper procedure to be followed. Even in relation to corporal punishment, there's a proper procedure to be followed. They can't torture your child like if they're in a Vietnamese prison back in the Vietnam War. Because there's some teachers that acting up with this stupidness. It's been allowed in some schools. You find your parent talking this way or that way and think they want to spite you. Good thing with me is when I was younger and all kind of thing and I go into school, if I do an exam and you give me 80 out of 100, you have to explain to me how the other 20 that I didn't get, how come I didn't get it, you know. I ain't just taking my paper and say I get 80 out of 100, you know. No. And you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't encourage your children to either. You have to explain to me how come I didn't get that 20. Show me where I was wrong. Because if you don't, I won't learn that 20% that I got wrong there. I won't learn the right thing. So you have to explain it to me. You ain't just taking no paper and okay, I get, hey, gosh, I get 80. No. I want 100. So you have to tell me how I don't get 100. Yeah. And you know sometimes in doing that, all of a sudden 80 you say end up at 90. Or sometimes 80 end up at 98. You ain't catching me with them thing? I'm not saying that anyone should be cursing teachers. I'm not saying anybody should be aggressive towards teachers. I'm not saying anybody should show any hate towards teachers. But I'm saying that what is being proposed by the president of the teachers union, yes, we know you need to build a hype to May Day. May Day coming up. We know you, LL and RR, we know too all you need to build a hype coming up to May Day. So they could go and whine and joke and jam in the road and put up thing and all so anti-government and anti-this and anti-that and all kind of thing. All you anti, all you forget uncle. We know. We know that very well. Yeah, May Day coming up. You want to put on a splash. Want to go and stand up on the platform and beat your chest. Aye, fight for that for teachers. Oh, don't worry. Longest rope have I end. Never make a never ending rope yet. Even time have I end. Even time have an end. So folks, we're quickly coming up to the end of today's program. Quickly coming up to the end of today's program. Tomorrow will be our final program for the week. But remember tomorrow as well, we're heading to St. David from 1 p.m. Yeah? So remember St. David, the constituency office up there in La Sagesse. They're going to have a bar, music. They're going to have eats and drinks on sale. So it's going to be a nice one. So we're heading up there tomorrow. And then next weekend, remember to contact the St. George Northwest constituency officer, 440-1382, or you could call 457-8227 and reserve your ticket. That's going to be, you have to put on your nice fancy dandan and go. So it's going to be a pre-Easter fundraising gala and all-inclusive dinner at the Pier 57 in Grand Mall. I know that's the Prime Minister's constituency. So nice up yourself, buy your ticket, and go on out there. All you put the price, all you put the price of the ticket. Let me know the price of the ticket. Yeah. Of course, I'm seeing one of my friends just message me and he's asking, meanwhile, shouldn't the government put some alternatives in place to have these papers corrected? Because this is a serious thing. Knowing the ministers I know, I'm sure that she has backup plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. I know the minister, so I'm pretty positive that she does have a backup plan in place. But I'm saying it should never reach to having to use a backup plan. Them in university already. Them do the CXC. No union leader didn't try to mess up their time in school when they were doing their CXC. No union leader didn't try to mess up their children from doing the CPEA. No union leader didn't do that at that time. They should have learned from example. Instead of that, no, they're doing things not to affect the government, you know. What they're doing is not going to affect the government. What they're doing is going to affect the children, who are the ones that we all supposed to be trying to protect. So I know, LL feel he's the Minister of Education. That's what he feels. He feels he's the Minister of Education. He's directing teachers and trying to direct what's going on in schools. I know who make him feel like he's in charge of the schools. Watch. Let me go, yeah, I feel it's time to go. Folks, just one more before I go. Spice Mass Corporation extends an invitation to all event promoters to attend a special meeting to discuss the way forward. With respect to the upcoming Spice Mass 2019, information will be disseminated, sorry, yeah, I know something was, I was saying something wrong. Information will be disseminated from various government entities. I know Jojo would have messaged me there right after. From various government entities, which you will have to engage in making your events a success. Yeah, so if you're planning on having a little fete, a little jam, a little, especially those of you that want to have the little village thing, you know, you want to have the little village thing in the road or in the pasture, the playing field, them kind of thing, in the community center, blah, blah, blah. That is taking place tomorrow. Well, today, from 2 p.m. at the Ministry of Labor Conference Room, 3rd floor Ministerial Complex. Media, I think you should go there, tape the entire thing and bring it out for the general public to know. Because not everyone might be able to make it to the Ministerial Complex today for that meeting. But for 2 p.m. So, Wagiti, set up the stage. Uncle Judah, yeah, you have to head out there too, right? Or send your representatives at least. We know too always too busy, man. And Judah, especially you, I know you're kind of busy fella. Right through, Uncle Waggy, I know you're always busy too. Yeah? Ding! Ding, 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 ding. You had to go there too, man. Yeah. So the VAT office will be there, the Royal Grenada Police Force, because there's information you need to know. Yeah? So media, I'm hoping that you go there and you tape it and bring the entire thing as well. In fact, Spice Mass, I would recommend that for further things like this, it's general knowledge, do a live stream. Yeah? Do a live stream for things like this. It's that important. Because you have a lot of people in the villages and so that want to have the little village activities. They want to have a blocko. They want to have this. And once it's within the Spice Mass period, there are certain rules that they have to follow. And as such, they need to know those rules. So give them the opportunity, even though they can't make it to that meeting at the Ministry of Labor Conference Room, 3rd floor Ministerial Complex, 2 p.m. today. Even if they can't make it there, that at least they have that information. Or make a checklist and send it out so that everyone would have it. Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you as usual. Yeah, just love being here with you. And before we go, we must say a very special happy birthday to Marcy at the main office. Miss is Marcy Pascal at the head office of the new National Party up there at Mount Helicon. Happy birthday, Marcy. I ain't singing. No, I ain't singing. I doesn't sing. I don't singing. Yeah, that ain't happening. Only ain't getting me to sing. Meanwhile, again, ready for Grenada Invitationals and thing, you understand? And the National Secondary School Sports next week. I see a man going crazy. He hear that they allocate entertainment and think the man's had to go crazy. Boy, leave off people alone. Boy, you're getting crazy. But watch, continue to say it, eh? Every program we want you to say it because them youth and them that don't hear it yet, and other people that don't hear it, we want them to hear it. So make sure and repeat it. How does it in Spanish? Repeat it, repeat it. Now that's more song like African. Repetition, brother. Repeat it. Continue to say it every program. Call out the name of everybody that come in. Wait up, everything. We are out of here.
April 13th, the preliminary qualifiers. After 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this. 1 incredible day of exciting track and field action. Come on! It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games. Saturday, April 13th is the date. 4 p.m. is the time. It's the 3rd annual Grenada Invitational. World-class athletes, world-class performances, and a world-class facility. Come see Olympians Andre DeGrasse, Shellyan, Fraser Price, Braylon Toplin, Asafa Powell, Lyndon Victor, and the cast of superstars at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Tickets are now on sale at godofed.com. Grenadian Optical, Duty Free Caribbean, Maxis Bar, and Venus. Saturday, April 13th. Grenada Invitational. See you there.
McIntyre, top of the screen in the colors of Grenada with a bit of a lead.
Grenada charting the course for a more effective response post-natural disasters. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, March 27th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Grenada is charting the course to correct errors of the past in damage assessment and needs analysis following natural disasters. Representatives of the private and public sectors were engaged on Wednesday in a planning workshop geared towards putting strategies in place for effective response. The government of Grenada is collaborating with the United States government through USAID to provide support and funding. U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Stephen Fram stressed the importance of analysis.
Analysis of how best to respond immediately following a natural disaster. So in this group, there are people from the utilities sector, from the tourism sector, from government, from telecommunications sector. So all of these different sectors that are so important to responding after a disaster are here today to talk and plan and prepare and think through what it is that they need to accomplish, what they need to have in place, what structures they need after a disaster happens.
Minister with responsibility for disaster management, Dr. the Honorable Senator Winston Garwe, says Grenada must learn from its own experiences and most recently those of its neighbors. He said more emphasis must be placed on resilience and speedy recovery.
This means that the government and all stakeholders should be particularly concerned as to how quickly we bounce back after any impact and to be able to serve our constituents with the required services needed. The onus, therefore, is on us, government and stakeholders, to build resilience in our country, our businesses, and our people. This requires significant investment in strengthening our infrastructure, developing new policy frameworks, and developing the capacity of our people.
The Disaster Analysis and Assessment Workshop aims to correct the errors of the past. That's according to Acting Coordinator of NADMA, Sylvan McIntyre. He said too many mistakes were made in 2004 and 2005 when Hurricanes Emily and Ivan struck the island.
All sectors, according to the national plan, who has a responsibility for the Dana process, to have come together, set out, do the assessment, compile the information together, identify the extent of the damage, areas damaged, what were damaged in categories, put a rough cost to that damage. Statistics, Ministry of Finance, according to our national plan, is supposed to be provided with that information for all of the sectors involved, and therefore would give a preliminary estimate as to cost of damage within a 48-hour period that should have been done. And thereafter, a thorough assessment had to have been conducted and create a macro estimate as to what has happened in Grenada.
Multi-destination tourism and collaborative marketing initiatives for niche tourism. These two elements, according to OECS Director General Dr. Didicus Jules, are key to tackling the subject of slow tourism growth in the OECS. With only 2% growth per annum, the OECS is said to be falling behind Latin America and the Caribbean. Addressing the virtual media launch and public consultation of the OECS draft strategy on Tuesday, Dr. Didicus Jules said OECS member states need to find creative ways to package and offer attractions that will lure tourists to their destinations.
Across the OECS, there are a number of unique products being developed by innovative young people having to do with adventure tourism, such as hiking. In St. Lucia, for example, at the Go-Piton, you have a hiking trail that has been cut, and the community at the base of the Go-Piton has now taken a sort of have a sense of ownership of the management of that site. So they're now looking at more value-added stuff like creation of souvenirs, doing social media photographs and so on around the visits and the hike to the pitons. So using the natural resource in the community, together with things like creation of local juices and health drinks and so on for persons climbing. So expanding community participation in tourism is vital. And this is one of the areas that we want to put a lot of emphasis on, because the opportunities for community involvement in tourism are many. It spans a range of opportunities from entertainment, culture, food, events. So these are areas that we want to develop.
On the subject of transportation, the OECS Director General says they are acutely aware that resolving this issue is key to growing competitiveness in the region. The Caribbean Development Bank has published a study on the challenges of transportation in the region, which pointed out that while air travel into the region has significantly increased, there has been a significant fallback in intra-regional travel. A main reason for this, the cost of intra-regional travel, reliability and scheduling.
We've been, in the past few months, been working closely with the World Bank, the UN, ECLAC, UNDP, and a number of other entities, CBD, as a working group looking at the question of sea transportation, a ferry, expansion of ferry services across the OECS to make inter-island travel, not just of people but goods, more facilitate that much in a much more cost-effective manner.
The OECS Development Strategy outlines key strategies that will be pursued by the member states of the Eastern Caribbean Economic Union over the 10-year period ending 2028. The strategies are developed around three mutually reinforcing pillars: generating economic growth, promoting human and social well-being, and sustainable use of natural endowments. It seeks to target growth of between 3 and 5% and reduce unemployment in OECS member countries by about 25% over the life of the strategy. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
After 4 weeks of preliminary qualifiers, after 4 zonal meets, it all comes down to this one incredible day of exciting track and field action. It's the National Secondary School Games Grand Finals. The Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern zones will face off. Kirani James Athletic Stadium, Friday, April 5th from 10 a.m. Excitement, tension, drama. The athletes will throw further, jump higher, and run faster. And inspirational halftime performances from Dash, Vaughn, and Mr. Killer. Witness poetry in motion, the fluidity of form and class. National Secondary School Games, the championship. Come feel the rhythm of the games.
Welcome back. Grenada has reiterated its support within Carriacou for dialogue on the ongoing political and economic crisis in Venezuela. A delegation of foreign ministers from Carriacou met recently with Venezuela's opposition leader, Juan Guaido, via video conference as part of continued efforts by Carriacou to facilitate a peaceful resolution to the crisis. Following the meeting, Carriacou issued a statement saying, and I quote, "Carriacou foreign ministers acknowledged the meeting as a significant initial step in a series of potential engagements that should unfold by agreed mechanisms within the framework of the Constitution of Venezuela and the rule of law." The meeting provided a greater understanding of Mr. Guaido's views and perspectives on how to move forward in search for peaceful solutions, as well as his willingness to take part in meaningful discussions, unquote. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Foreign Minister Honorable Peter David says Carriacou has an interest in the outcome in Venezuela.
That the future stability of Venezuela is in the interest of Carriacou, and that while we understand that there are difficulties within Venezuela, Carriacou's position remains that these matters should be resolved by the Venezuelan people coming together. And we offer our good offices through the Montevideo mechanism to broker a dialogue. And we hope that the meeting in Barbados on Saturday between the foreign ministers with the chair of Carriacou present, the foreign minister of the chair of Carriacou present, can go some way to assisting in brokering that deal.
Finally, the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts says it is committed to the further development of local athletes in all disciplines. The commitment came during the presentation of sporting equipment donated by former Ambassador to China, Mr. Dennis Antwine, to the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts. Sports Minister Senator Norland Cox used the opportunity to talk about some of the plans in store to ensure sportsmen and women are provided with the opportunities they need to be able to compete at all levels.
We are working to ensure that our facilities continue to improve. We have currently here, we are in our athletic stadium. We are working towards establishing an aquatic center for our swimmers. We are working towards establishing an indoor facility for basketball, netball, and other indoor sporting events.
Ms. Akeda Vento spoke on behalf of Mr. Dennis Antwine. She relayed his desire to continue to support the country's sportsmen and women.
Last January, members of the GLLA, the Grenada Leadership and Learning Academy, made contact with the Embassy of Grenada in China, informing us about communication with one of Grenada's listed honorary consuls in Asia. GLLA is a non-profit organization based in Grenada. Today, I am pleased to acknowledge the generous and timely in-kind donation made by the honorary consul that will benefit the Ministry of Sports, its facilities, and sporting activities in Grenada.
That story just ended the national report for today, Wednesday, March 27th. Recapping the top story. Grenada charting the course for a more effective response post-natural disasters. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.